Hey all, I used to think that my production data is actually safe on my server, but it isn't. All it takes is one bad delete command or one bad data migration, and my entire week is ruined. That is why today we're going to be writing the definitive file backup script. It's short, uploads your files to the cloud, and automated to run daily. Best of all the tools that we are going to use are actually most likely to be on your Linux system already. Before we do that though, if you want to skip this entire video and have your production grade backup ready in minutes, I recommend you check out SimpleBackups. It is a backup as a service for your servers and volumes. We have set up everything that you need. We do files backups, database backups, app backups. We run automated backups on your server or databases, scheduled to your liking, and stored on as many storage providers as you want. Now back to the script. We're going to be using these three tools primarily: Cron for scheduling, tar for archiving, and Rclone for uploading the files to a storage destination. So let's go ahead and try some of these, shall we? I have a WordPress website at my var www adventure gear supply, and I'd like to back up this directory daily. So let's go ahead and create an archive of that directory. Let's quickly create an archive for that directory by doing tar and then -c for create archive, v for verbose. This is going to be useful to see all the files that are backed up in the command line. We're going to skip this in the automation part, but for now this might be useful. And f for file. So the file that we're going to create is backup.tar, and then we can name it or point it to the directory of my WordPress website, which is var www adventure gear supply. And now, as you can see, it's backing up all of this content. And let's give it a bit. Alright, that's great. Let's list now the files that are available in here. As you can see, I have 367 megabytes of data. Now, this is great and all, but this is actually big, a bit too big for me. So what we can actually do is we can compress the tar archive while it's running. And to do that, it's the same thing. We just pass a z flag, which means zipping, in the arguments, and that's going to let it compress the tar archive. Now let's compare the two sizes. As you can see, it's now almost 120 megabytes smaller than it used to be. Let's quickly take a look at what files exist in that tar file, and to do that, what we can do is vf backup tar, and as you can see, this is a list of all my files. But if you noticed, we have copied the entire path as well, when we only need the adventure gear supply. So to fix that, we can run the same backup, but let's go ahead and do a quick want it to the path of the parent directory, and then do C for adventure gear supply. This is going to only back up adventure gear supply inside this directory. And let's get rid of the verbose flag for now and call it backup.tar.gz, so we know that it's actually gunzipped and compressed. I actually made a mistake. So the -C should be before the parent directory instead of the actual directory that we want to back up. So let's go ahead and run that command again. tar/c for create an archive, z for zipped, f for file, let's call it backup.tar.gz, C for the parent directory, var www, and then inside of it I want to backup adventure gear supply. And now let's give that a try again. Alright, after a few minutes it has completed. Let's quickly take a look at the files inside this tar. So tar/tf backup.tar.gz. And as you can see, we don't have /var/www any longer. That's great. And let's look at the size again. 216 megabytes. Right, let's actually move these files and start writing our script. And I have here prepared a flow of how the script is going to run. So let's go ahead and show that flow. So as you can see, we have a cron entry that will trigger this script that we're going to write. This script is going to have a strict mode, which means we have set EUO pipe fail. And this means that it aborts on any failure. Undefined variables cannot be used, so it will abort there as well. And O pipe fail means if there is an error in the pipe, in a command that ran in a pipe, it will basically error the entire command. Then I'm going to prepare our directory, archive our files in that directory, then upload the files using Rclone copy to our remote, and then we can run a cleanup task. And we're going to run this cleanup task only if the files are older than 7 days. Finally, we're going to log everything out to a backup.log file, which means that any errors that might have encountered will be captured here, and we'll be able to fix that later on. Alright, let's go ahead and prepare that file script. I will call it backup files.sh. Let's go ahead and do a quick shebang /user/bin/environment. This is going to be running in a bash environment. Alright, let's go ahead and do set EUO pipe fail. And then we can start configuring our backup. So the parent backup, or the source directory, I'm going to call, is going to be in var www, and backup target is adventure gear supply. And then we have retention days, and I'm going to set this to 7. Then we need a backup destination. That backup destination is going to be /var/backups/files. And then the file name, or backup name, let's call it, is going to be adventure gear supply. Then here we're going to have timestamp. And actually, let's create that as a variable, which we can use in here. Then backup.tar.gz. And let's go ahead and make sure that this backup destination exists. To do that, we need to do something like this. And now that we have a timestamp, so the timestamp, we're just going to use the date functionality, and we're going to format it as the following. So we have year, month, year dash month dash day, and then underscore hour dash minute dash second. Now this is what it's going to look like. 26 6 11 underscore whatever time it is. So for me, it's going to be 5:32 and then whatever seconds it was. Let's quickly run tar, make sure that this works. So again, it's tar, then -c for create, and then z for zipped, and f for the file that we want to target. We can create the file inside backup destination / file name. We're going to do -C, and in here we're going to do the source directory, and then the actual backup target. And ensure that it's coded properly. Let's split it in new lines like this, so it's easier to understand. Right, now we can go ahead and write the script, make it executable, then let's run backup files. For a while it has ended, so let's check out on that directory. Let's do ls var backups files, and as you can see, have here our backup file. So let's go ahead and do a quick tar df var backups files, and yeah, those are actually our files. But as you have noticed, we don't have any logging set up, so let's go ahead and change that. Let's edit that file again. Let's do echo archiving files in source directory / backup target, so we know echo archived files and compressed in backup destination / file name. And now we have logging. Alright, so that's half the puddle done. Let's go ahead and adjust it quickly. Backup files again. And as you can see, that -u caught an inbound variable. So let's go ahead and fix that. So it's in line 15. What I have to do is to line 15 and fix this typo. And then again, archiving files. And it's good that we tested it because there's a double slash in here. So let's actually get rid of that. It's actually not a problem, but we don't really need to have that backslash in there. So let's just, it's prettier this way. Alright, so now what we can do is use our retention days to find and delete any backup that is older than 7 days, or than our retention days variable. And to do that, all we need to do is use the find command, and then let's do a new line, do a type file, new line, name is going to be anything that matches really. So for that, it's going to be ags underscore, let's use a wild star in here, underscore backup.tar.gz. And then m time, anything older than retention days. Then finally, let's delete these files. And this is going to run every time we create a new backup. It's going to delete these files. Let's quickly add a comment in here. delete any files older than retention days. And that's great. All right, so now that we have our data, we have it existing in two places: the actual data source, the backup on our disk, and then finally we need it somewhere else offsite to completely satisfy the 3-2-1 backup rule, which means 3 copies of your data on 2 different media. One of them is offsite. And to do that, we're going to utilize Rclone. And as you can see here, I've already created an Rclone config called Backblaze. So I'm just going to use that. In my Backblaze account, I have a bucket called Jury Backups. So let's go ahead and make sure that we see it. Rclone LSD Backblaze. Rclone Backblaze, like this. As you can see, we do have our Jury Backups bucket in here. Alright, that's great. Now, to run an Rclone copy, all we need to do is do Rclone copy, and then we copy from our source to our destination. So my source is in var backups files, and now let's do the 137, and then my remote is Backblaze Jury Backups, and let it run. It should be now uploaded to my bucket. Let's go ahead and see if it is the case. Rclone LSD Backblaze Jury Backups. And sorry, that was supposed to be ls. So I'm listing the files in my Jury Backups, and indeed I do see it there. That's great. Let's update our backup script to handle uploading to Rclone. Alright, so let's go ahead and set up an environment variable called Rclone remote, and it's going to be Backblaze Jury Backups. And then after our archiving has completed, let's go ahead and echo out uploading to Rclone remote. In this way, we know that it is going to be uploaded here. Then let's do Rclone copy backup destination file name and then our Backblaze remote, Rclone remote. Then we can do uploaded successfully. Now let's run it again and see the logs. Backup files, archiving files, putting to Backblaze, and now they're updated successfully. Let's go ahead and look at our Backblaze bucket. And we should have one to run right now, which is this one. That's great. Alright, and now finally, the last part of automation is just installing a new cron job, targeting our script. So let's go ahead and do that. Cron tab -e, and actually go ahead and copy this. This is the path to our backup script. And now we can do cron tab -e. We can edit. Alright, so to create a new cron job, you have 5 fields. The first one is the minute, hour, day of the month, day of the week, and then the rest of the arguments is your command. So let's go ahead and do every day at 2 a.m. on every weekday. We're going to run this command, backup files sh. The output of that command we want to store in that same directory, and let's call it backups.log. And let's also rewrite all of the errors to that file, because right now this is going to only write the standard output, but we want standard output and the standard error pipes connected to this one. So to do that, we target the standard error channel, which is 2, and then we do a quick redirect like this to 1, and this is the standard output. And now let's save this one. Oops, sorry. And now we have installed a new cron tab, meaning this job will run every day at 2 a.m. Now we've done all of that, we have a backup running, but we do not have any alerts or notifications to our Slack or Teams channel or Discord or whatever, and we cannot manage it easily. That's why we built SimpleBackups. It manages all of that complexities for you, so you can rest assured that your backups are always saved and secure. Let's go ahead and see how setting up this backup would look like in SimpleBackups. Get started, create an account on SimpleBackups, and let's set up our first backup. Click on that button. Then I'm going to be backing up my self-hosted VPS, but you can really set up anything you want. And I'm going to actually run an auto discovery, which means SimpleBackups will do its best to discover all of the paths that you need to back up. Let's do that and connect our server. To do that, click on this plus icon, copy the script, and just run it here. And don't worry, you can also just connect it manually. We have many connection methods. Once this server is connected, we can go ahead and make sure that the connection is valid by clicking validate connection. Let's go ahead and create the resource. And here you can see what it can discover. It can discover many things. So let's go ahead and check some of these. Gate stack. And by default, this will run daily, but we can manually run it. This will give you an advantage of automatically discovering new resources to back up, which is really nice. As you can see here, I have discovered many files and databases to back up. What I'm actually interested in is my adventure gear supply, and as you can see, it has already found it. Let's go ahead and create a backup for that one. As you can see, it has also discovered that this is a WordPress resource and automatically excluded the cache directory, which is really nice. For now, let's validate this. Go ahead and use simple storage to save my backup, and use the grandfather father son strategy. This is going to take 3 backups, one daily, one weekly, and one monthly. So I can go back if I want 12 months from now, which is really nice. Alright, backup is created. As you can see here, I have a quick overview of what my backups looks like. I can go ahead and click run now and run the daily schedule. Let's go ahead and test it out and see what comes back. After a while, you'll see that your backup has been successfully generated. Let's go ahead and see what that looks like. As you can see here, I can see the duration that my backup took, the file archive. You can go ahead and actually try to restore this backup. We have two methods here. We have a manual and an automated restore. Let's go ahead and try the automated restore. Going back to our backup server, what we can do here is we can just go ahead and move the directory here. So let's go ahead and move /var www adventure gear, and now in var www I have nothing. I don't have that directory anymore. Let's go ahead and run this restoration script. As you can see, it's asking me where I want to extract this backup. Let's go ahead and extract it back where it should be. Going to download the backup from remote storage and extract it right there.